Everybody, and welcome to the stream. Today we are streaming Phantasy Star Online episode 1 and 2 Plus for the GameCube, and yes, if you saw the thumbnail, I have the holy GameCube keyboard controller. So we are going to be using this plus a real GameCube with a broadband adapter to be going online and playing some Phantasy Star Online episode 1 and 2 Plus today. So I'm very excited about that. If you tuned in, I don't know, a couple weeks ago we played on the original Xbox with Insignia, which is like an Xbox Live mod, and I was really excited to get my original Xbox back online. We played a little Phantasy Star Online, but after playing it, I can go in depth, but the GameCube version is the superior version of the game. I can go into all the reasons why as we start playing, but I could not help myself. I was like, I gotta play the GameCube version. It's my favorite version. So here we are with the keyboard controller, and we're about to go online. To everybody in the chat, Otakuarium, Milky Hazard, Rich Broth, and everybody else who's lurking, thank you for coming and hanging out early. The Japanese beverage, it's a bit of a tradition, but the Japanese beverage on today's episode of the stream is Sapporo premium alcohol-free beer. I talked about it last night. I got addicted to alcohol-free beer in Japan. I love the stuff, and that's the Japanese beverage for the evening. So, what do you guys say? We go ahead and hop in online. Guys, let me know if the sound is good, if the video is good. I'd love to hear from you guys. So I have a couple of characters here. In the last stream, I played a character called the O, which is a raw cast, which is like the kind of like mecha cast. They're a ranger class. If you don't know, there are 3 classes in Phantasy Star Online. There are hunters, rangers, and forces. So hunters are like your melee, rangers are your ranged attackers. They use primarily guns, and then forces are like your mage. There are some kind of like subclasses between that. There are some versions of the hunter that can play some of the like mage role, etc., etc. We can get into the details later, but basically I have a bunch of characters, and I created this character called the O on the Xbox version, and then I re-rolled a new one, called him the O2, and I'm already up to level 48. So you guys can see, with already 28 freaking hours, I've been playing like crazy. You can see, and this is like my most recent Phantasy Star Online memory card. My older ones from back in the day have like way more hours, but it got corrupted, sadly. But anyway, we're gonna go on with the O, and we're gonna be playing some games. So we are playing on a private server. If you guys want to play along, you can post in the chat, let me know you want to play along, and yeah, we can maybe get some games going and play some games together. What's really fun about this is right now it's December 3rd, and so they've got the Christmas event going. So Phantasy Star Online had a bunch of seasonal events. It had Halloween, Valentine's Day, Christmas, some other stuff. I think they did some like New Year's stuff. So it's really fun. So they go and they change like the whole lobby. Obviously you have this Christmas music playing. Some of the enemies we're going to be hunting today. Let's say hello. I see young Freud chilling in the lobby. What's poppin'? As I type on my keyboard, which is so handy. And people often ask me like, oh, is that keyboard super heavy? It's not. It's pretty light. It's pretty comfortable. It just sits on your lap and you can easily type. Nice. And I see Boo Boo and Young Freud here from the Discord. We've been playing some games together. But I don't even know what I was saying. Oh yeah, we're hunting Santa Rappies. Basically, there's like a common, like, popular enemy. It's kind of like the mascot of this game. Yeah, this little chicken guy made a... Oh no, I don't have it on this character. But they're like little yellow birds, and they're kind of like the mascot. So anyway, they have like Santa suits on. They also have like a Halloween version of them and a bunch of different ones. Everybody is falling over. Yeah, you can, in the lobby, you can hold control on your keyboard if you have a keyboard. And you can do different like emotes. I think some of them are like dancing and things like that. You could also sit in your photon chair. So anyway, enough yapping. We're gonna get to a game. Let's get a game going. And yeah, we're gonna be grinding. We're gonna be hunting for some rare items. And I'm gonna be telling you a little bit about this game. A little bit about why the GameCube version is the best one. And I'll probably just be like spouting on and on about my love for this game. So we're gonna create a team. We're gonna create episode 1. Let's call it Rappy Hunt. Difficulty very hard. So the difficulty is basically based on the level of your character. Drops, I'll do server drops. Crossplay, yes, so you can crossplay between Dreamcast, the original Xbox, PC, and GameCube, which is insane. I'll catch up on the chat here. Someone saying Sapporo is good. Didn't know they made 0% alcohol. Have to try this. Yeah. In Japan, pretty much every major beer manufacturer has an alcohol-free version. Alcohol-free beer is super popular in Japan. Audio visuals good. That's great. Rich Broth says, super interested in getting these old consoles back online. It's something I haven't tapped into yet. Yeah, Rich Broth, it's pretty easy. For the GameCube, you can get the official broadband adapter and it's just plug and play, but you can also play on Dolphin, the emulator, or they have a new thing if you have your GameCube modded, like, and it can even be like a simple mod, like an SD to SB2, which doesn't like require any soldering. They made like somebody made like a 3D printed like homebrew broadband adapter, which I also have one of, and I've tested it and it works great. So there's a bunch of ways to get on with GameCube. Let's do a quick forest run. So you're not really going to see it in this version. You'll see it with some things. I can go ahead and bust a telepipe, which is like a little warp spell that'll warp you back to the main ship. But in the Xbox version, for example, you see how my character is like warping and there's that graphical effect? That effect is exclusive to the GameCube version, I'm pretty sure, and it's removed from the Xbox version. There's a few other things like water effects that are different on the GameCube version, especially in episode 2. They use some GameCube specific shaders and it just looks way prettier in the GameCube version. The UI is also different. So it's much like curvier in the GameCube version versus the Xbox version, which more reflects the Dreamcast UI where everything was like hexagonal, based on hexagons. So basically the forest is the first area of the game, and the game is broken up into like a bunch of different zones, but in the forest area is where a lot of Rappies will spawn. So we're gonna just do a simple forest run, fight the boss, and then maybe we'll get to doing some quests. Hello Ragey Gamer, welcome to the chat. Good to see you here. How are you doing tonight? So So in the game, initially you play on normal mode, that's levels 1 through 20, and then you go to hard mode, that's 20 to 40, and then you go to very hard is 40 to 80, and then you go to ultimate. When you get to ultimate, it's really interesting because all the levels change, and the enemies change as well, so it's pretty interesting. It's like a nice little reward. But basically, the higher your difficulty or like level cap zone you're in, the higher the drop rate for like rares and stuff becomes. Okay, so here's some rappies. So I have been hunting the Santa rappie, which is actually called a Saint rappie, it started on December 1st, so it's only been 3 days, and I haven't played yet today. So really 2 days, and I have not seen any of them. So hopefully we'll find one tonight. That would be pretty cool. But like I said, yeah, if you're just joining now, feel free to join the Discord, and in the Discord I made a Phantasy Star Online channel, and in there we get games going regularly, like almost every night, or at least like a couple nights a week. We'll all play together, and there's some information in there as well. It's like how to get the game set up, but you could just post in there, and I'm happy to help people get the game set up if anybody wants to play, and you can come on and play with us. Nice. Oops. The one thing about the keyboard that I'm using is the keys are like super tiny mini keys. Can you guys like see? I mean, just compare like the size of like the D-pad to these buttons. They're super tiny buttons. So I have a lot of typos when I type. Thank you. You guys see any therapies yet? But yeah, if you guys have never played this game before, I highly recommend it. I think it's aged really well. And like I said, you can play it on pretty much any platform. It has a ton of flexibility, and I don't know, I just find something about the gameplay. It just hits this like perfect sweet spot of like easy to pick up, hard to master. It definitely gets harder as you get to the harder difficulties, but it's such a fun gameplay loop. I also feel like the graphics, I was watching a YouTube video recently of like the best Dreamcast RPGs, and just comparing. So right now we're in a Dreamcast level. This is a level that was in the original Dreamcast version, and I was just comparing it to like the graphics of other Dreamcast RPGs, and this game just looks insanely good. It runs at a good frame rate even on the original Dreamcast. It's kind of insane. It's like definitely one of the best looking Dreamcast games, but I just feel like it aged super well. But I'd be curious to know if you guys, if we have any Dreamcast fans out there, what games on the Dreamcast do you think had the best graphics or aged really well? I think this is definitely one of them. shit, a luck material. So luck materials, so basically in the game you'll find items called materials. It's kind of like how you can increase like something like EVs in a Pokemon game. And you can increase your base stats and tweak them, and each character, I forget the number, like the max number of materials, but you can consume some max number of materials, like say it's like 50 or 100. And you can kind of customize your stats. You can get defense, evasion, luck, accuracy, power, etc. But the luck ones are really good because they boost your critical hit rate. Sleeper says, I always wanted to play this. You should play it. I highly recommend it. I'll probably say that like 1,000 times on this stream, but highly recommend this game to anybody that enjoys RPGs, action RPGs, co-op games, or MMOs. STZ says, funnily all the sports games on Dreamcast aged super well. You know what, you're not wrong. I was looking at some footage of some of the sports games on the Dreamcast and they look freaking like amazing. I'm not a sports gamer at all, but like some of the baseball games on the Dreamcast just look insanely good to this day. And I think that's because the Dreamcast has really good textures. I think even compared to like the GameCube and the Xbox, the Dreamcast has really good textures. The Dreamcast had better textures than the PS2. Even though the PS2 had way higher like poly counts on their models, the textures in Dreamcast games, I think they really make the games hold up well. Otaquarium says, it seems I'll have to dust off the Dreamcast and find a copy of PSO. I even have the keyboard, everything. Yeah, I have the Dreamcast version as well as the keyboard, and I play that version too sometimes, every now and again, and it's a great version of the game, and you can still play it online if you have a DreamPie. There's a few other ways to get online without a DreamPie. You can like, I think someone made a free software where you can like emulate a dial-up modem on your computer, and you can rig it up somehow that way. There's a bunch of guides on YouTube. Where are we going? No, that's the wrong way. I think we gotta go this way. Origami Kusanagi says, this game is so tough. I don't think this game is tough at all. It's an RPG, you just gotta grind. It's definitely harder if you're playing offline and you don't have anyone to play with. But online, it's I think if you get a good like support class helping you out, it's I don't think it's too hard. I think it's a pretty chill game. Some of the later stages can definitely get hard, and challenge mode is hard. But overall, I think it's a very fair and balanced game. Found your older brother's N64 and Dreamcast in the attic while fishing out Xmas stuff. Should I try to get these up and running? I would say definitely. Definitely. Alien Front Online was a neat online Dreamcast title with a microphone. Yes. I've always wanted to play Alien Front Online. I've never played that one. So if you get a DreamPie and the Dreamcast hooked back up online, you can play, like, they've restored like a ton of online Dreamcast games, which is super cool. On the GameCube, you can really only play. I think you can play both the Phantasy Star Online games. I know that. This one, and then Episode 3, which is a card battle game. And then there was another RPG that was online, but I believe that game was P2P. Like the way the online networking worked, I don't know 100% if you can still play that one online. And then I'm not sure about the LAN games. I'm not sure if anybody has like, I'm sure there's a like, people play like Double Dash and stuff online using Dolphin for sure. I just looked at the chat and it just said Gunbuster. And Young Freud Gunbuster, which is a reference itself. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but it's super small on my computer screen. This room's a bit tricky too. Tons of enemies in here. Get an ice trap going, freeze those guys. Drop another ice trap. Someone said Adam is here. Not sure if you're into N64, but did you see the analog 3D? I am very into N64. I have an N64 hooked up right here in my game room, which, by the way, game room tour video very well may be my next video. It's been a long time coming, but I need to drop that video, so it may be my next video. There may be another one that drops before it. It depends on a couple things, but you guys will see my N64. Regarding the analog 3D, I think it's cool, but those consoles don't really interest me because I have a Sony Trinitron CRT and I just play everything on the CRT. So I don't really have any need for like an HDMI console. But are you going to pick up the analog 3D? Rich. I don't even know if you can just pick up an analog 3D. I feel like it's something that you would have had to like pre-order, right? Aren't analog products like super limited supply, super hard to get? The only analog product I was kind of interested in was the Analog Pocket. But instead I decided to just mod all my consoles. Because I'm really big on playing on the original hardware. Like, I really like experiencing not just the gameplay, but also like the form factor, the ergonomics. So if it's like playing N64, for example, it would also be playing with an N64 controller. I know some people might not like the controller, or Dreamcast as well. Some people don't like that controller. But I think experiencing that is a big part of understanding those games. Oh, sick. Rich says, I have analog 3D on the way, but yes, they are sold out. I also have the Pocket, which I love. Yeah, I've heard really good things about the Pocket. And there's that other company that made something kind of like the Pocket, right? I forget what it's called. Thank you, Chris, for the sub. What's the name of that console? It's kind of like the Analog Pocket. It has like 3 stripes in the bottom left corner. Oh, I think Boo Boo DC'd. now's a good time to catch up with the chat. I enjoy my Sony PVM setup with the original consoles. However, it'd be nice to play on a large OLED with friends, such as Mario Kart 4 players. Yeah, definitely if you have a PVM. I have like a giant... Sorry, I'm just laughing because Freud is in the game, but chatting with you guys in the chat on my laptop, and it's just like a funny dynamic. But saying game room tour would be hype. Yeah, I'm really excited to share the game room with you guys. It's not 100% where I want it to be, but I think that's okay. I think it gives me the opportunity to maybe do a tour now, 2025, and then maybe if I make some upgrades or add a few things, maybe I could do it like a future tour. So I don't think it's going to be like a one and done, but I don't know, the room, I look around, it's like a bigger dedicated space than I've ever had, so it feels a little empty to me. I don't know. Momo says, I am coming. Is Momo Boo Boo? Boo Boo, are you Momo? Oh yeah. I didn't realize Boo Boo was Momo. Young Freud should also post in Discord at the same time too. LOL. Yeah, that's too much work. Although I think everybody is also chatting in Discord at the same time. Kind of. I haven't talked about it yet, but has everybody been following GBWC? Has anybody seen the GBWC winners? The first place win was insane. Builder Pan with the crazy like angel like winged Gundam fighting it like dragon mouth. That was a super sick build. As soon as I saw that revealed on Instagram like a few months ago, I was like, this is first place for sure. Maybe first place world, but 100% first place in the US. Alright, so now we're at the first boss, the Dragon Classic boss. Super classic PSO boss. Let's see if we can take him out on the first phase. So I did like a photon blast, which is kind of like a summon, and just glitching through the dragon. Oh shit. Rats. Otakuarium. Yeah, the Gundam inside the big dragon mouth. That build was absolutely insane. That was by Builder Pan for GBWC. They took first place. Also, I absolutely love the music in this game. The music is just so good. Like, the boss music, the level music, the shop music, and Pioneer 2 music is probably my favorite. Tuckerium says, it's cool we can see your own GBWC entry in the background. Yes, they are behind me. Chillin'. I did not enter anything this year, but I will probably be, if all goes well, entering something very, very cool next year. I absolutely love the symbol chats, which are kind of like a precursor like to emojis, like a custom emoji type thing. So another cool extension of the Christmas theming is there's these like glowing wreaths and Christmas trees and all kinds of cool decorations. Also, this piece here says Merry Christmas. Normally this is like a random billboard in the city, but here it says Merry Christmas. So I just love it. There's like hidden wreaths all over. As you look around, you'll see more of them. This guy doesn't talk about Christmas though. I thought maybe he would. There's one here above the shop. So I absolutely love this shop music. I don't need those. Those are full. Let's see what kind of items. I can sell some stuff. Checking if any of these have 4 slots. No slots. Don't need that. Santa Rappy isn't real. So yeah, so if those of you joining late, we are hunting Santa Rappies for the Christmas event. And they drop really cool rares. There are these items called mag cells that can turn your mag into things like a Sega Dreamcast, a hamburger, a Sega Saturn, a Sega Genesis. So I would really, really love to get like the Dreamcast or the Sega Saturn one. I think that'd be so cool. Let's see if I can take some extra weapons here. Maybe not the double saber. I'll take this, that color. There was another item that I wanted, but my game crashed and I lost it. I was kind of bummed. It was a really good rare. You can do it in the quest called the Photon Lab. I can show you later. So we're gonna do a quest that I believe should have a good amount of rappies. Let me actually check. I actually have a chart here. I have a chart that says the number of rappies. The highest one is a quest called Tenebrous Woods. See, and then also strange sightings. I don't know where those are though. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Tenebrous Woods. Let's try this. Let's see what happens. Alright, let's give it a try. see if we can find some rappies. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm curious what games you guys are playing, what Gundam kits you guys are building, what anime you guys are watching. I don't know what's going on. Oh. That was weird. So some of these custom quests, so they were like original quests that existed on the Sega servers back in the day, the official servers, but on this private server, which is like a fan server, people have added and made a bunch of like custom games. And this is one of the custom ones. Dear God, there's so many enemies. I should have brought some multi-hit weapons. Oh, rappies. So some of these custom quests will really just have like an absolute insane amount of enemies, which is good if you're hunting for rare drops. There are also rare enemies, so the Santa Rappy is basically a rare enemy. But there's quite a few actually rare enemies in this game. And what people will do is they'll go into an area where there's a high likelihood of encountering that monster, and then they'll play that over and over again, hoping that the rare enemy spawns. Catching up with the chat here. Would you recommend an official broadband adapter or go with something like the ETH2GC broadband adapter? If you can afford it, I would 100% go with the official broadband adapter. It's just simpler. It's plug and play. You can get a real Phantasy Star Online disc and just plug it in and go. With the ETH2GC, you can only use it if you're booting from Swiss. So you can't just play with a regular Phantasy Star Online disc. I'm pretty sure you need to be booting from Swiss for the ETH2GC work. For the ETH2GC to work. If you already have Swiss, then that's fine. Oh shit, a custom frame. I already have a custom frame, so you can keep it. I don't know if it was watching the stream, so I'll say. Takariam says finish the G-Quacks last weekend. Now have to start my Vidar this week. And some video editing. Very nice. I still haven't watched G-Quacks. I watched the first 2 episodes. It's not that I disliked it. I'm busy and There's other stuff that I want to watch more. I was most recently watching Hunter x Hunter, which I was really, really enjoying. As well as the new season, the final season of My Hero, which I'm also enjoying very much. This quest is crazy. These spawns are insane. See if I can drop some traps. Do some splash damage. I really need a shot type weapon. A shot type weapon is like a multi-hit. Oh my god. So everything froze because they cast a summon, and when they cast a summon, everything freezes, and I dipped out of the room, which is a technique you can use to kind of trick the game to thinking you're not there. And then you get to go in the room when everything's frozen, and you just get free hits on the enemies. So that's a pro strat that I would recommend. Just gonna warp back and get a shot type weapon. So, sorry, I was saying, I can't remember if I said it or not. Shot type weapons are multi-hit, and the rifle I have is like a single enemy, but high damage. Sorry, take item. So what's my best? I think my best is the meteor smash. I don't know if it can go higher than +10. Let's see. Yes, it can. Okay, so I'm gonna max grind that really quick. So there's items called mono grinders. They basically give you like +1, which is like, you could think of it as like a basic D&D style. Like you have your sword and your sword +1. So you can grind weapons, and every weapon has a grind limit. I don't know what the meteor smash grind limit is. Let's see, buy some more healing items, sell some stuff. probably had the custom frame from before. I don't know if there's any better items I can use. Not really. All right, I'm ready. So now I've got a shot type weapon. This should be easier. This map is insane. I cannot see. I have no idea. I've never done this quest before. What in the world? That was pretty insane. Hi, Choco. Welcome to the stream. Definitely a ton of rappies. Def a ton of rappies. This ain't rappy shit. The beginning of this quest was a lot more straightforward. Now it's getting just absolutely insane with these rooms where you can't see anything. And the camera's horrible. Everybody gets a custom frame. A custom frame is like a rare armor. Oh my god. I don't know why that's cracking me up so much. Where do we go? This way? Oh, this way. Rich Broth says, looks like a Japanese Brahmin adapter is the way to go. The local ones are extremely expensive. Yes, they are. I'm pretty sure it's region free, but the local ones can be very expensive. I have 2 broadband adapters that I've been hoarding since back in the day, back in 2003 when I was playing on the official GameCube servers. I really like the high encounter rate in this quest, but I hate the darkness. Yeah, the dark room is part of the quest that they do intentionally to make it more difficult. It's like a weird thing, like that's not normal. Shit. This is just like a really weird, like homebrew quest. I have no idea where to go. I guess I was going the wrong way. Pickpaw says, long day perfect stream for heading home to work on my entry grade wing Gundam. Very cool. I'm going to do a telepipe trick where one of them can just do a telepipe and then I'll warp to where they are. Thank you for joining, Pickpaw. I hope you enjoyed that build on the entry grade wing. That sounds fun. Takariam says, I thought you had to adjust the camera or something to make it more bright. No, it's just a stupid quest. It doesn't really make for a good stream because nobody can see what the hell's going on. I did not know the stream would be like this. It's like weird, super dark custom quest. Nice photon drop. But yeah, this is not my favorite quest. Let's get out of here. This is obnoxious. Oh my god. I failed. At least it's not a stream issue. Yeah, it's not a stream issue. It looks like it's over for us. Back to the lobby. I'm gonna check and see if there's another quest that has a high distribution of rappies. Maybe Endless Nightmare 1? What else? Strange sightings. Let's see. I'll wait for them to leave the quest. What's a good quest for Ratty? What's a good quest for rappy hunting? One of you guys make the rooms so we get different rare drops. I hope everybody's feeling in the Christmas spirit. Rappy World, here we go. It's awesome how many people are playing. So somebody says Christmas quest. What quest is it? I don't know. Rappy World. So I read a quest called, what is it called? A quest called Strange Sightings. Has 60. I'm gonna ask in the Discord, the Fantasy Star Discord, what's the saint? Saint Rappy spawn rate? And we'll see if anybody responds. Otaku Room says, yes, started to put some decorations around. Need to finish this thing next weekend. Yeah. I haven't put my Christmas tree up. I'm super into Christmas. but I haven't done all that stuff yet. I'm wild when I need help. People have been reporting a strange elevator. If I don't see what it is, report back once you find it. Have you seen the hot chick? Some of these fan-made quests have like horrible, like just like the dumbest dialogue. I really do like the dialogue that is in the game in general, like the Sega stuff. So I'm gonna wait here by the quest counter. Let's see if in the Discord anybody responded. 1 in 500. Okay. Jesus Christ. I just found out the St. Rappy rate is 1. Time to roll the dice. Oh. It's funny that we all forgot that we literally just started the quest, and then we're like, let's start the quest. Nope, quest already in progress. We should probably play some zones after this other than the forest, just for variety. Definitely a good amount of rappies spawning in this quest. I'm almost at the next level, which will be good. I'm about to hit 50. Is the audio cutting out? I don't think the audio is cutting out, but if anybody else hears the audio cutting out, definitely let me know. I don't see any reason the audio should be cutting out. I still can hear it in my headphones. find some good new rares. So the thing is, the reason that I had somebody else make the game is in this game, I think there are 8 section IDs, and every character gets assigned a section ID when your character is created, when you start the game. So I'm Red Rhea, I think Young Freud is Yellow Bows, and Boo Boo is Skyly. So they're each based off color, like sky blue, there's a regular blue, red, yellow, white, there's 2 different greens, and each one of them gets different rare drops. So you can do runs as, you know, one section ID, and then runs with another section ID, and the game is set to the person who created the room. So the idea is that, like, as you're playing online, you play with different people who've created different rooms, and then you get different drops that way that are different than what you'd get if you're playing solo or offline. So it's fun to just play another person's game and get, you know, see the different rares and stuff. Sweet, level 50. You can also find, in addition to Saint Rappies, you can find giant Rappies. They don't actually drop anything special. I think they're just like a fun throwback to older Phantasy Star games. And there's just like a giant Rappy will spawn. It's like 10 times the size of a normal Rappy. Maybe after this we'll do a different quest and do like one of the more scenic levels. I think the beach level is probably my favorite looking, especially in the GameCube version. It has some gorgeous water, so maybe we'll do the beach. I don't know if we're quite leveled up enough to do the seabeds. I think that's too difficult, but I think we could swing the beach. That'd be fun in episode 2. Luna says, how many characters do you have? Have you tried each class combo? I have tried every single class combo. I have about 8 characters across 2 memory cards, but right now I'm primarily playing the 4 that are on this memory card. So I have this character, which is a ranger. I have 2 hunters. One that's an android, and one is a Newman, which is like the elf of this game, so that character has like higher spellcasting abilities. And then I have one force character, which I built as a human, which is supposed to be like a melee, like a battle mage. So it's a force that has like really high attack power, high defense, and like it gets in there with melee weapons. Do I have favorites? Yeah, you know, it changes from time to time. I think I really enjoy all of them. It's hard for me to say. I really enjoy all of them. I think probably Hunewhirl is probably my favorite because of the diversity of the class. So you can do like a lot of spell casting. You can do a lot of melee, you get access to some ranged weapons. But I love all of them. Like Force is really fun to play. I'm really enjoying the Battle Mage character that I built. I really like Ranger as well, especially at a high level. Like later in the game you get a lot of cool stuff as Ranger, like weapons that do a lot of status effects, and that gets really fun, like freezing enemies, paralyzing enemies. But right now we're kind of, even though we're like level 50, it's still pretty early game. Because most people that say like really, when you're really playing Phantasy Star Online, I hate to use the expression like the real game starts. Like people will say, oh, the real game starts after this part or after this part. I do kind of feel like a lot of the fun really does start once you get to Ultimate, but the beginning of the game is super fun too. Like seeing all the environments for the first time, also because they're different. Sorry guys, I'm a little tired. They're different environments than the Ultimate environments on like very hard. The enemies are different, so it's a different experience. But I really love the early game, like level 1 to 10. And then I love 80 plus. The middle ground there it's fun. But the game like really, really gets fun once you get to level 80. Because that's when you start getting rare weapons and then also rare armors and stuff that will appear on your character. Whoops, accidentally dropped a trap. Luna, let's catch up with the chat here. So far it says this isn't an MMO, right? I mean, it's, people argue, is Phantasy Star Online an MMO? Is it not an MMO? It depends on your definition. Like, it's massively multiplayer in terms of like you go to a lobby. I think the lobbies can have like 30 or 40 people in them. The games themselves can only have 4 people though, so for that reason people say it's not an MMO. They say it's like a team-based action RPG. Some people also say no, it is an MMO because, you know, of the general structure. You're grinding, you're sharing your items, you're trading. Some people say it's an instance-based MMO. People argue it. In my mind, it's an MMO. In my mind, it's like the first console MMO. In my mind, it's my first MMO. I find it a lot more fun than games like World of Warcraft, which is fine. I played a little bit of World of Warcraft. I couldn't get super into it, but I like how collaborative PSO is. Like, in games like World of Warcraft, I feel like maybe I shouldn't use World of Warcraft as an example because I haven't played as much of it at a high level, but it's really easy to just like do the whole experience solo, like not really talk to anybody, be kind of checked out. But because the action is so intense in Phantasy Star Online, you need to be like really actively chatting with your squad members, your team members, talking about strategies, sharing strategies. Otherwise, you're just gonna die. And so I really like that element of it. That it really like forces this community element in the same way that Final Fantasy XI forces a lot of community element that Final Fantasy XIV doesn't have as much. Like Final Fantasy XIV, you can play with like NPCs or you can play by yourself, but in 11, the OG 11 anyway, you like really needed to team up with people. PSO is like that, so I really enjoy it for those reasons. Luna says, I heard Force is hard to play, not recommended for new players. Scared of trying it when I went to try. Yeah, I would not recommend. Oh, here is a rare Hildebear. Let's see what he drops. Disco Brave Man. Not really a good rare. I would not recommend Force for a first-time player, not because it is hard, but because it requires a lot of money. because you need to constantly buy fluids, which are like, it'd be like an ether or something in Final, like it would be, it restores your MP basically. So because you need so many fluids, you need to burn through a lot of money, and that's just really hard if you don't, you know, have any characters or built up stocks of money in the bank and stuff like that. If you're gonna play, like if you were to play with me and you were cool with me just like giving you some money, then you could absolutely start the game as a force. I don't see there's anything against it. But if you're a noob, I would say Hunter or Ranger are totally viable. The game actually like kind of steers you toward playing a Hunter as your first character, but I actually believe Ranger is easier because you don't have to get up close with the enemies. But the game kind of pitches it in the character creation screen. It says like Hunter for beginners, Ranger, intermediate, Force for advanced. But I would disagree with that. I would say Hunter, Ranger are kind of equal, but I would probably lean toward Ranger being a little bit easier for true beginners because you're just farther away from the enemies. Tucker says, it's the middle syndrome, like large book sales such as The Wheel of Time, where the middle part is hard to pass through. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say the middle part is hard to pass through. I think it's just because I've done it so many times. And the fun of the game to me is like the beginning of the game where it's super hard and you're really trying to survive. Enemy hits are super brutal. It's easy to die. The bosses are really hard. That's really fun to me, that like high challenge. And then I like the rare hunt, which comes later in the game when the rare drops spike in ultimate mode. So those are my two favorite things, like the early challenge and the rare spike. It's not to say the middle of the game is boring. So like for new players who've never played it before, like I think Boo Boo has never played the game before, like all these rares are new to Boo Boo. So that, I imagine, would be super fun. But for me, somebody who's been playing this game for decades, it's not as exciting to see the common rares. I want to see all the stuff in the game that I've still never seen. Like, there are tons and tons of super rare high-level items in this game that after, like, 20 years of playing this game, I still have never found. Which is really awesome to me. Final Fantasy XI is kind of like that. Where, like, the ceiling is so high that you can play for decades and still not see half the stuff in the game. Yeah, a lot is new to Boo Boo. But I think it is fun, like as a new player. Because the low level rares are cool, it's just I've seen them like a million times. Solard says, thank you for your questions. And plus it gives me something to talk about. Otherwise I'll just be sitting here in silence and grinding. Grinding up a storm here. How much till next level? 119. It's pretty... a lot. A lot. Have you guys done mountains yet? The mountains are super cool. Boo Boo, did you know you can do support as a cast by using star atomizers to heal your party? Holy shit. So we like to joke about the Sega camera as being the true boss of Phantasy Star Online. Sonic Team. Let's be real. We all know Sonic Team has an iffy track record when it comes to cameras, especially of the Dreamcast era. If you're talking about like Sonic Adventure, games like that. And so Sonic Team would just do some wacky stuff with this game, only in quests. Like, this is not the main game. This is like very, very rare. But they'll do these like weird camera angles, and this is not even, this is like a custom quest that's made by fans. But like the camera zoom out, Sonic Team would also do that in some of the official quests. And yeah, we just joke about the camera being like the main boss. In this one, it doesn't make it that much harder, but in some of the ones where it zooms in, it does make it harder. Like the zoom out's not as bad. It kind of looks like an RTS. PSO RTS. This is so weird looking. There we go. My God. We're getting lots of rare drops, which is cool. Nothing super good. The custom frames that we found in the last mission are actually good. That's like a really good item. It's a good entry level rare armor that you can use at lower levels. So that's a solid drop. The slicer is not as much. Kind of have a million of those. They're fine if you want to use a slicer type weapon, which is kind of like it's like a throwing blade. It's like a mix between a throwing blade and a boomerang. But they're not that great for most applications. They're great for tagging enemies. In this game, you only get experience points if you hit an enemy, and I believe you have to do at least 1 damage. So if you're just standing there doing nothing and you're playing with a bunch of high-level players and they're killing everything, you'll get 0 EXP. You have to at least tag the enemies, so items like shot-type weapons, slicers, spells that are multi-hit spells are really good for doing something called tagging, which is just inflicting at least 1 damage on each enemy in the room. So that way when that enemy dies, you get a percentage of the EXP. The person who actually kills the enemy gets the most EXP. Like you'll see there 2 of those guys died, these little cocoon things, Mothmans. And I got 92 for one of them, which I killed, and I think like 80 something for one that I tagged, but didn't kill. So you can get a ton of experience by just like tagging stuff. And it's a really important part of grinding that a lot of new players kind of skip out on. I will catch up with the chat in a sec after this insano room. This camera is crazy. Here's a good time to catch up with the chat. Okay. I think it kind of reminds me how Monster Hunter multiplayer... Yes, people do really compare this game to Monster Hunter. I hear that a lot. People compare Monster Hunter... Well, they compare Monster Hunter to Phantasy Star Online. People say Monster Hunter was very influenced by Phantasy Star Online. It seems like a good comparison. It's a lobby-based co-op game rather than MMO large world. Yeah. Ooh, another Hilda Blue. I wonder what it's gonna drop. This is weird. So I think that's it. I think we completed the quest. Solard says, I wish more people played Final Fantasy XI. I started playing it last December and the lack of people felt kind of bad. Yeah, it is a bummer, but it is a super old MMO. There's a decent amount of people still on the official servers, and some of the private servers have been very popular at times, but I don't know what's popular anymore. Final Fantasy XI is one of my favorite games of all time, though. Someone says, I don't know if those have a specific term for them, but they should. Also, your character reminds me of Metabee. It does have Metabee colors, for sure. All the boss fights in Sonic Adventure have bad camera angles, yeah. Sonic 06 camera is also pretty rough, that is true. Sonic 06 is awful. I know some people love it, but I tried to play it, and the game over is like... It was resetting me like really far back every time I died, and it drove me crazy. Lucian says the older ones definitely. World and Wilds lean too much into open world storytelling. What's this weapon? Oh, resist. Yeah, I'll keep the resist storm. Stock up. Some Dimates, Trimates, an Atomizer. That's like your Phoenix Down or your Revive. And then these items, when you get rares, they come as mystery, and then you bring them to the Techer, and they will identify them for you. So I got a Disca Brave Man and a Slicer Assassin. I have tons of like doubles and triples of these, but I just hoard them anyway. I can't help myself. I must hoard all the rares. Usually what I'll do with them is I'll give them to like new players and stuff. So we're gonna go to the mountains now, which is a GameCube level. So Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2. Episode 1 is all Dreamcast stuff. And then Episode 2 is built from the ground up for the GameCube. So the Episode 2 levels, the graphics are a little bit enhanced, and the levels look really, really nice. They're some of my favorite levels in the game. The enemies are a bit harder in Episode 2, but they're just really fun environments. So let's do Episode 2, Explore, Episode 2. So, Episode 2 also has a different ship, city that you go to, which is kind of cool. Also, by the way, for those of you joining late, I am enjoying my Japanese beverage of the night is premium, alcohol-free Sapporo. I was saying earlier I got really addicted to the alcohol-free beers when I was living in Japan. Luna says, at their core, modern Monster Hunter games work the same with multiplayer, they just do it in a slightly different way. Solar says, I really, really love this old Sega aesthetic. I miss how charming MMOs used to be in this era. Yeah, completely. Completely agree. This Sega aesthetic from this era is like completely unparalleled, I think. Like Phantasy Star Online, Sonic Adventure, no problem. Yeah, Phantasy Star Online, Sonic Adventure, Jet Set. Just that, I don't know, they all kind of have like a similar vibe to them. I think a lot of it was just like the architecture of the Dreamcast. Like I was saying earlier in the stream, that it has these really low poly models but really high res textures. It has a very specific look. Let's see if I can steal. You can take other people's symbol chats. Okay, let's take one here. Face type. Let's register it as Spoink. I think it looks like Spoink the Pokemon. Change sound effect. Let's add some new parts. Let's add some hearts. Ooh, Hypnoboggy. We've been playing games with this person, Hypnoboggy, and I just, every time they play with us, their name cracks me up. In the nick of time. Welcome. The legend. Hypnoboggy. I don't know why the name Hypnoboggy just cracks me up. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's some kind of like slur or something. I don't think it is. I think it's just like a goofy name. Alright. Let's do a quest. Let's do a quest. Come to the counter. I think Boo Boo's AFK, so I'll catch up on chat. Luna says, the thing that made me really want to try PSO is the dot hack anime. I really liked its vibes, and the closest thing to that, aside from the dot hack single player games, was PSO. I completely agree with that. When I was a kid, when I was little and I played PSO, I would like role play that I was like in the dot hack universe in PSO, and I had a lot of fun doing that. Seabed, lower levels. Oh. it's mountain area. Yeah, let's do this one. Mountain area and central control. What else? Luna says, which makes sense. Dot Hack was heavily inspired by PSO. I don't know if Dot Hack was inspired by PSO. They kind of came out at the same time. Dot Hack is more of a traditional fantasy game. I don't know for certain, but they did come out around the same time. And let's see what else in the chat is going on. Someone said, I only ever played Phantasy Star Universe. I wanted there to be a world MMO so bad. Yeah, guys, I should stream Dot Hack sometime. It's one of my favorite games of all time. So this is a GameCube exclusive area, and you can just see right off the bat, like, the graphics are a bit stronger. There are these, like, fog effects. It's just a bit more graphically advanced. There's, like, more fancier lighting, a little bit fancier lighting and stuff like that. This is a cool area. Basically, this is your starting area. You gotta get this gate to open, and then you do the CCA. But I'm gonna go to the mountain area. And then these guys are making goofy symbol chats. I'm in mountain. Let's see. But I absolutely love the way these episode 2 areas look. The beach is probably my favorite, but I wanted to show them mountain because I don't think they played this zone yet. One of my favorite looking zones for sure. But yeah, this game is cool. It has a lot of Sega fan service. There's like a Nights into Dreams quest. There's some Sonic Adventure tie-in stuff. You can unlock music discs that have Sonic Adventure music in them, and you can actually play it in the game. You can also unlock Burning Rangers music, Samba de Amigo music. You can get maracas from Samba de Amigo. You can also get a bunch of Sonic Adventure items like Knuckles' gloves. You can get Amy's hammer. So there's a lot of cool tie-in stuff like that. Obviously, like I said, you can get like a Dreamcast, like a Saturn mag. You can get a Chow and an Omo Chow mag. There's also a force weapon called Stick of Chow, which is like a mage staff that has like a little Chow on the top. So it's kind of fun. There's a lot of fun for Sonic fans, especially, not Sonic fans, Sega fans, especially Sega fans of the early to mid 2000s. Playing Phantasy Star Universe story mode right now. Jesse, very nice. I actually have never finished the Phantasy Star Universe story mode, and recently I started playing it up again because it's a fun, I don't know, I'm nostalgic for Phantasy Star Universe, even though I never played it to the same degree as Phantasy Star Online, but still, like, the music gets to me, the interface gets to me. I think the promise of that game, I was very into Phantasy Star Online when Phantasy Star Universe was revealed and announced and all that stuff, and I remember they promised so much with that game. You would have a room and you could decorate your room, and every single player would have a room on the spaceship, and then you could invite people to your room and show them all, like, your cool stuff that you have, all the decorations. It had a lot of promise. I don't think it delivered on a lot of the promise, but I'm very nostalgic for it overall. Nope. this way. Sometimes when I talk, I lose my sense of direction when I'm talking on stream. Discas left and right. So one thing as well is you can see these little floating objects. Those are traps. The only characters in the game that can see them are Android-based characters who can't use magic. So the downside is you can't use any magic, or they're called techniques in this game. You can't use any techniques, but you can use traps and you can see traps. And your HP also auto-regenerates, but like insanely slowly, to the point that it's basically useless. But traps are very, very useful to use. You also cannot become poisoned. Boo says you also have loud footsteps. That's true. You do also have loud footsteps as the cast set characters. What the heck is going on here? These bug guys are kind of annoying. Reminds me of Watchmen. You can destroy environment, like obstacles sometimes, but not all the time, so I always shoot at them to know if it's like a destructible one or not. Let's see what's over here. Now you guys got me thinking about dot hack. I really should stream dot hack. It'd be really fun to start a new game. I've actually never completely finished dot hack. I'm on the final. The game was released over 4 discs, and I'm like halfway through the final disc. Oh, this guy's like a mini boss. But I've never actually completed the quadrology. I beat the first 3 games, and I'm like halfway through the final one. I really need to finish it. But it would be fun to start a new game. and share it with you guys because I have a lot to say about the Dot Hack series on PS2. Just such a unique game. The fact that you don't actually play a game called Dot Hack, you play a game called The World, and you don't even just play that. You like log into your desktop computer, you check your emails, you go on message boards, and then you log into The World. It's just such a cool game. Great view. Yeah, maybe I'll do that sometime. That'd be really fun. I love the music in this level as well. I have like all the Dot Hack soundtrack, all the Phantasy Star Online soundtrack CDs. I have the Dot Hack soundtrack CD as well, which I listen to. Thank you. But I love just listening to the Phantasy Star Online soundtracks. Just every single track is so good. Choco, yes, I am drinking something from Japan. I am drinking the Sapporo Premium All Free. Oh no, it's not All Free. All Free is the Kirin one, I think is called All Free. This is just alcohol free. 0%. Absolutely love trying all the different brands and flavors of alcohol-free beer after getting really into it in Japan. I've told people that the reason alcohol-free beer in Japan is popular is because, like, of the after-work drinking culture. A lot of people don't actually want to get drunk, so they have alcohol-free beer as an option. I don't know if that's true. That's just kind of a hypothesis I have. I've never, like, you know, researched it, but that's what I would guess is one of the reasons why it was so popular there. Ooh, a Christmas present. Yeah, so for those of you joining late, the Christmas event is going right now. We were initially hunting for a rare Santa enemy that has like a 1 in 500 spawn rate. Like it had a 1 in 500 spawn rate. We didn't find any, but we kept playing the forest over and over again. And then just for a change of scenery, we decided to try these mountains levels because they are really nice looking. Look at that. That skybox. Look at that skybox. It's a good skybox. Oh, we're going the wrong way. It's this way. This area is just so cool looking. These enemies are super annoying even though they look really cool. These big robots with this invisible cloaking. I think we need to clear the enemies first. Choco says, I've seen my share of drunks at a Tokyo subway. It's pretty funny, but they are harmless. Yeah, you'll definitely see drunk salarymen in public in Japan. It's definitely not a rare sight, as a lot of people drink after work. Hi, Eduardo. Welcome to the stream. We have to go through the warp. Photon blast. Gibbles can really pack a punch. This character is kind of like a mini boss. Not quite, but they do a ton of damage. And they're tanks too, they'll take a lot of damage. Where is Hypnobob? Oh, there he is. Guys out. Oh, another one. Wow, okay. Drop a freeze trap. Oh. Wow, it almost one-shot me. Without the ice traps, this enemy would be super difficult. Yeah. For those of you joining the stream, just like the thumbnail, I am playing with my Phantasy Star GameCube keyboard controller by ASCII. I have the purple and white variant. There's also a black and white variant that came out with episode 3, but I have the episode 1 and 2 version. And I've had it since probably 2003, 2004. Ooh, a rare. Is it gonna be good? No. So many junk rares. Oh, the J key. J key is a little stuck on my keyboard. So many junk rares. Where is he? So how is everybody doing? What I'd be curious what games you guys are playing. Also, like I said earlier, we have a subsection of the Discord now dedicated to this game, so if you want to play, feel free to join the Discord, join that area. We can help you get online. You can play on pretty much any system. PC, Wii, GameCube, Xbox, Dreamcast, and there's cross-play between all of them. Emulators. People can play on the Steam Deck. There's like a bazillion ways to play. So definitely feel free to join and hop in some games with us. Yeah, I'm playing PSO too. Rich said those controllers go for a pretty penny these days. I guess most retro gaming things are getting up there, more so for the obscure stuff. Yeah, the controller is definitely getting a little bit expensive. I wouldn't say it's like too crazy. What is it, like $100 or so? So it's like expensive, but it's not like so crazy. You know, it's not like a Panasonic Q or something that's like $3,000. And then Rich says, at the moment I'm playing Mystical Ninja on the N64. Which Mystical Ninja? There's a couple of them on the N64. I love Mystical Ninja. I have very fond memories of playing that as a kid. This is gonna sound so random, but I have fond memories of playing Mystical Ninja as a kid. I rented it from Blockbuster, and I was playing it with my uncle, and I was eating leftover. I'm from New York, so when you order Chinese food in New York, they come with these little like fried noodle crackers that in other states in the US, I've noticed they don't give those with their Chinese food. But anyway, New York Chinese food comes with these like fried noodle crackers. And I remember eating playing Mystical Ninja. Sorry. I was playing Mystical Ninja, eating these crackers and dipping them in duck sauce. Which I have been told the duck sauce thing is also like a very New York Chinese food thing, to like put a ton of duck sauce on your Chinese food. But anyway, I was eating these crackers, playing Mystical Ninja, and it's one of those really vivid memories. I can really like imagine I was in my grandma's house, like in the back room, eating these crackers, listening to the music in Mystical Ninja. God, I miss Blockbuster. Blockbuster was so fun. Oh my god, 2 of these guys. See if I can get a confused trap going. These guys are gonna be tough. Otakwarium says we have that in Canada, the fortune cookies. No, not fortune cookies. They were not fortune cookies. They were like fried salty noodle crackers. I think they were just like fried noodles. They're not sweet like a fortune cookie. Rich says Mystical Ninja 2. Otaku Star also says PSO on the Panasonic Q would be a big, expensive and unique experience. I want a Panasonic Q. It's on my bucket list to eventually get one day, and when I do, I promise you guys I will do a video on it. This area is crazy. Oh my god. This area is really cool too. Someone said I was playing Macross Scrambled Valkyrie on my Super Famicom. So good. I've actually never heard of that game. What kind of game is it? Is that like a side-scrolling shooter? I have one of the Macross shooters for the Sega Saturn, and it's pretty solid. We're gonna go back to town to restock. Sorry, somebody also listed the price in the chat here. I must be looking in the wrong place online because I'm seeing like $300 for the GameCube keyboard controller. Yeah, I think you can definitely get it for cheaper than that. If you go to eBay and you check the sold listings, not what people are asking for it, but what it actually sells for, I feel like it's definitely under 300. Techer, get my rare item teched. Disc of Liberator. Do I want to give it no? Put that back in the bank because I don't need that either. I don't need that. I can sell. Oh, I could sell his dye fluids. Mystical Ninja 2, Rich says. I don't know them by like number. I know there's like Goemon's Great Adventure, and then there's the Japanese exclusive one. But the one that's like Mario 64 is the one that I played back in the day. The 3D platformer one. Choco says, I grew up in Florida and the Chinese restaurants also have noodle crackers with sweet and sour sauce. Yeah, I don't know. It's something I'm just very nostalgic for. Side-scrolling shooter, easy to pick up and play. That sounds cool. I haven't played the Super Famicom one. Oh no. Oh, I got an email. No. We can make a new game. We can type. Rich says, yeah, that's the number 2 starring Goemon. Apologies if I missed it, but are you still in Japan? No, I am not in Japan. I'm definitely not in Japan. I've been back for about a year. So we are experiencing the Christmas event. They have these cute Christmas trees. I guess it's kind of like church themed with this like stained glass area. But this is all part of the Christmas event, which Sega did on the official servers back in the day. So Freud makes it very hard. If Freud makes it, it'll be a yellow bows game, so we'll get some different kinds of drops than the games that myself or Boo Boo had made. Yellow bows, I know drops more money, but I'm not sure what weapon types are more common for yellow bows. I feel like it might be some kinds of like rifles. It just happens. Time to time. I must admit your videos haven't popped up for me in a while, Rich says. Yeah, I haven't been releasing as many new videos. I've been doing more live streams, but this month I have 4 videos planned, so stay tuned. I'm hoping I can release all of them before the new year. It's just been really busy for me, so I haven't been able to do as much editing. But I'm really excited for the upcoming videos. I was saying earlier in the stream, I'm going to be doing a game room tour. What did they call the game? Let's see. Oh, 70s anime rules. What's fun is these loading screens are all interactive. Yeah, but not until falls. Light elemental resistance armor. So Boo Boo is talking about the final boss of the quest that we're going to do, which is called Towards the Future, which is like a boss rush quest. It has this attack that hits everybody. It's a guaranteed hit, and the damage is light-based, and it usually one-hit KOs people. So before that boss, you want to equip some armor slot items that increase your resistance to light-type elemental attacks. It helps you survive that and not get one-hit KO'd. Yeah, Dark Falls. So this quest is really fun. Like I said, it's a boss rush quest. This is a classic quest for grinding because you get really good EXP. It's probably the most famous quest of all time in Phantasy Star Online. Like every single person who played Phantasy Star Online on the original servers or even has played now knows this quest. It's Towards the Future. Everybody calls it TTF. And I feel like 90% of Phantasy Star Online games, when you're just grinding, not rare hunting, but grinding, are TTF games. It's super, super popular. It's a great quest. It's just fun. It's not too long. It takes like 15 to 30 minutes. You get a ton of EXP. You can get good rares. I would really like myself for this character to find some new rare like rifle or shot type weapons. I would have to look up some drop charts, but I'm not sure what kind of enemies would be dropping them, like what zones I should be playing. But I haven't really seen or gotten any good weapons on any of my characters, really. Even my ultimate level character that's like 92. I just haven't really been seeing any better rifles than the one I have now. This is like the highest attack power rifle that I own across all of my characters. So even this loading screen, you can tilt the joystick left and right and kind of twist it and play with it, which is fun. Alright, first boss for the boss rush is the dragon. If we can do this right, I should be able to hit it in a way that you can get it to like fall down before it launches. Let's see. Boom, boom. No, we didn't get it. You can get it to skip this next phase of attack and just die instantly, and it's a lot. It makes the run a lot faster. But we missed it. So you kind of have to go through this phase where it tunnels around and hits people. It can one-hit KO people that don't have a lot of armor. So I noticed Hypnoboggy's mag is like super low level. It's super low level. Your mag is super important for your stats in this game. It goes up to level 200. Nice. Your mag should be level 100. Should be Yeah, your mag should be like level 100 by the time you hit 50 and 200 by the time you hit 80. Just to stay competitive. So my mag is level 200 and the stat boost, I think somebody I was playing with recently was saying it's like 40 levels of stats if you just equip a level 200 mag as a level 1 character. You can also trade your mags, you know, from character to character. You can collect them, you can find new ones and have multiple mags and equip them and do different builds like a power mag, a mind mag, dexterity mag, and kind of customize your stats based on the build you want. Or equip them in certain situations. You can do that too. But anyway, that's just my long way of saying, like, it's super important, but a lot of low-level players or new players don't realize how often you have to feed it, and then so their mags end up being a little bit under-leveled. Eventually, if you keep feeding it, you're always going to wind up with a level 200 mag, but the faster you get there, it's just going to help you a lot in terms of survival and dealing damage and things like that. I hate these guys because you can't damage them without spells. Do the fire traps damage them? Oh, that's interesting, they do. But once they split in half, then you can kill them pretty easily. But they give like no experience for some stupid reason. Like really low experience compared to the other enemies. Here we go. Nice, 52. These lilies are super annoying. They inflict a lot of status, but you bypass a lot of the status because I'm an android character, which is immune. These guys are super annoying. Every time you hit them, they like disappear back to slime. They look exactly like Chaos from Sonic Adventure. So as you go through each progressive zone, from the forest to the caves to the mines to the ruins, you're gonna get more and more rares and better weapons. But I haven't really seen anything good. The best rare I found so far and very hard was a God Power, which is super good. But other than that, I've gotten some mid-range weapons. I've gotten some okay armors, like the Secret Gear, which is a good armor. I got a DB shield last night, which is cool. my god, I got one hit KO'd. Crazy. Wow, I can't believe it's one hit KOing me. Crazy. This boss doesn't usually one hit KO me. Don't usually die from one hit KO. I love this zone. This is one of my favorite zones. The mines, which has lots of like robotic enemies. Actually, all robotic enemies. I think so. I think enemies technically. I'm not sure. Can be annoying because they won't paralyze you, they'll shock you. Okay, I'm at 100. You can do combos with photon blast, so what I'm doing is just telling them the level that I'm at, which is 100, which means I'm ready to combo. And then when you combo, you get a multiplier, and if you get status boost effects or healing effects, it will spread to all the characters that have comboed. And I also think there's a damage multiplier on the photon blast. Okay. Guys, we did it. The three of us have been trying to do a 3 combo for so long, and we always miss it. I'm proud of us. And we're doing way more damage now with the comboed shift and D band. It's pretty powerful. That's awesome. Alright, catching up with the chat. Running Silent says, I'm repeating Japanese with flashcards while listening to the sound of you playing PSO. Awesome. I hope me speaking English does not mess up your Japanese studying. For a long time... Oh, shit, I died. For a long time, I have had the idea of doing a... like, the best games to study Japanese video. Because there are so many people now, like Game Gengo and different channels that talk about like studying Japanese with XYZ game, with Pokemon, with Animal Crossing, whatever. But I find a lot of games, I haven't been a big fan of a lot of the recommendations that people have for games to study with Japanese. But I have done it a lot, and so I have thoughts on it, is basically it, and I've thought about making a video called like the best games to actually learn Japanese with. Because there are a lot of games that I've used to learn Japanese that nobody else has ever talked about on YouTube for studying Japanese. So I thought it could be an interesting video, but it's kind of different direction than the channel has gone recently, which is more like Gundam, anime stuff, a little bit of retro gaming stuff. But I guess I do a lot of Japan-themed stuff, but not really like studying Japanese. Or not even really import gaming. I guess I've talked about Saturn a little bit. But anyway, good luck with studying. Studying Japanese is hard, but really rewarding. Thank you, Freud. Yeah, I thought about that. I have so many video ideas. I just have a massive list of video ideas, but it just takes so much time and effort to make the kinds of videos that I like making that it's hard to make them all. So I've got like, God, I must have a list of like 50 video ideas that I'm just sitting on. So in this phase of the boss, you have to destroy all the screens, and then you have to hit these pillars. But you have to search for the red one. Here's the red one. If you hit any of the other ones, it paralyzes you. It should appear here. There you go. And then if you destroy all this stuff, it should trigger the actual boss. This is not the boss, this is just like, well, it's the boss, but this is the first phase. Yeah, there we go. Now we're gonna trigger the actual boss fight. pretty easy. We did pretty well. Taking him out pretty quickly. Thank you. So now we're in the ruins, which is the final episode 1 area. And it has some of the better rares, so we'll see if we get any good drops. If not, we're definitely going to at least get some good experience. Because like I said, the experience ramps up from zone to zone. Except I'm getting wailed on by these guys. The enemies in this zone are also more aggressive. Their AI is a little better and they're faster. Luna says, finally got PSO set up on Dolphin, torn between Hunorl or Raka Seal. Those are probably the two most... They're probably considered the two best classes in the game, Hunorl and Raka Seal. In terms of just like flexibility and popularity, they're just very, very popular because they both get Shift ND Band, which the Humars don't get. And Shift ND Band is really, really powerful late game. So Shift ND Band are like the buff, like boost attack and boost defense status abilities. They also get higher level spells. So they're both really good classes. I'd say you can't go wrong with either one. I would say Ramarl is probably a little easier. Oh, sorry, you're saying Raka Seal. I thought you were saying Ramarl. Raka Seal is actually one of the less popular classes. I would say of those two, I'd probably go Hunorl. I would go Hunorl or Ramarl. Maggie, I can give you some better gear if you... But Luna, definitely let me know what class you end up making. I'm curious. And I'd also be happy to play with you. I have some lower level characters that I need to level up. These guys are pretty tough. Justin says, oh wow, you're rocking the keyboard controller. I am rocking the keyboard controller. I don't mess around when it comes to Phantasy Star Online. I love this thing. Look at this thing. It's so awesome. It's really one of my favorite peripherals, I guess, if you want to call it a peripheral, like everything in my whole collection. Luna says, girlfriend finally agreed to play with me, so I'll be playing Hewn Whirl and she'll be playing Raw Marl. That's a really good combo. That's a great combo. Good luck. Justin says, how well does it handle? The keyboard is great. The keys are a little bit tough to type on. Sometimes I make a lot of typos because it's mini keys. So I'm not used to typing with mini keys. But other than that, it's a great keyboard. Just gonna buy a few more moon atomizers here so I can revive everyone. Alright. I meant to equip the Dragon HP. We might all get one hit KO'd. We'll see. Yeah, we might be cooked. So the final phase of this boss is super hard. It has this one-hit KO. Well, this attack that commonly one-hit KOs people. So we're worried that we're going to make it to the final phase of the boss and we're all just going to get stomped. This is probably the easiest phase. Should be able to make it. Should be done pretty soon. There you go. And this next phase is not as bad, but it's not super easy either. But the phase after that is the final phase, which is pretty hard. Izzy says, wow, this brings back memories. Still got my copy of the Plus version. My go-to character was the Humar. Had fun times doing split screen co-op with my brothers and friends. Yeah, co-op in this game was great. I played a ton of co-op with my uncles back in the day. Split screen, and then I would go online after that. It was just so much fun. So much fun. Izzy, do you remember what level your character got to? Here, heal. Please don't freeze me again. There we go. This phase is more annoying than anything. Oh, shit. I don't think we're gonna survive the next phase, but we'll try. I gave away all my light resist items to help other players. And now I have none for myself. So I equipped a super resist, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Somebody emailed me, but I cannot check right now. Stick together. So I think it does less damage if I stand here by the outer ring. I think we got this. If everybody can just deal enough damage to it. It's kind of a war of attrition with this boss. We'll see. This might KO me. He's got my soul. So this guy, he'll like take your soul, and then when he takes damage, you take damage, and that's a really difficult part because you don't want your team members to get KO'd, because then this is right before the final. I think we might get him right here. This is right before the final, like he'll die, and then XP will be given out, but if somebody just died, they don't get EXP. So you really try to keep your team members alive for this section. That was close. That was insanely... That was insanely close. Holy God. God, he's gotta be close to dead. This is such a brutal boss fight. I hope Boggy's alive. I think he's dead. Oh no. I'm sorry, Boggy. I'm sorry, Boggy. James says, I'm off. Have fun and try to see you at your next stream. Thank you for coming and hanging out. I'll catch up with the chat after this. Ooh, another level. Sweet. And I can check my email, and then I'll catch up with the chat. Hello, YouTube. Yo, yo. Okay, catching up with the chat here. I never had the opportunity to go online with this game, says Izzy. I want to say character was 120, maybe 150. That's pretty high. I had gotten into ultimate difficulty for both episodes in the final areas, had a mag fully maxed, and would cast attack and defense buffs. Nice. Some notable gear I had was the red saber chainsaw that I remember at the top of my head. Chainsaw is awesome. It's basically like a chainsaw. Did a lot of piping for the red saber. Otakarium says, am I the only one that's having lag with the stream? I hope the stream is not lagging, but if anyone else is noticing the stream lagging, definitely let me know. Izzy says, I also had a few rare pistols for distance combat. Classic. And then, yeah, James says I'm off. Cool. Alright, everybody has left. I'll go collect my reward. And then we'll head back to the Christmas lobby. And we got A rank, which is good. We'll get a reward. I'll get some money. 10,000 Meseta, which is not bad. Those are good symbol chats. I love the symbol chats. Izzy says, then eventually my brother got an action replay and we tired of that grind. Yeah, hacking everything. This server is pretty strict about hacking. If they detect any hacked items, they'll ban you. So you have to be really careful if you bring an old character back online. Which one is dance? I forget. Control plus P is dance. Smooth moves. Alright, I think I'm going to change my character and play... I think I'm going to play a different class for a little bit, spice things up. So, let's see what we have here. So this is the character I've been playing, Rawcast. I also have a Fomarl, which is the battle mage type character I was telling you about. This is a new character I rolled that I was like speed running to see how fast I could level up, and I've only played 5 hours on this character and got to level 33. I was very proud of myself. Versus this character that's like 14 hours and level 32. And then I have my longtime character, Black Rose, at 95. I might want to get in 95 and play some ultimate games. I think that might be fun. I think I'm going to do that. We'll see some different environments. You can also do the dressing room, which is cool. You can change your hairstyle and costumes and stuff, but I'll keep it as is. Izzy says, but yeah, pre-hacked stuff I was already endgame with a solid amount of gear and stuff. Tried to grind the Vulcans that consumed my setup for more damage with hit percent. Don't think I got one. Otakarium says, so no cool dance like in Fortnite? What a disappointment. The dances in this are better, for sure. There's a lot of games going on, which is fun. Thank you for the sub, Matachu. Izzy says, my brother went all in with Phone World though. His character was a beast. Which episode do you like more? I definitely like episode 2. Episode 2 is my favorite just because the levels are so cool. But I don't know, episode 1 is so iconic. Like the forest is so iconic. Oh, nice. We got a full house. That's very good. And they're all high level, so that'll be good. You guys can carry me. Just sell some stuff here. Buy some fluids. So you can see in ultimate mode, it's actually daytime inside the ship, which is a cool, nice touch. Some of the textures look a little different, but it's daytime instead of nighttime. It's fun. You can see the daytime view of the sky here. So there's some cool little touches, and you'll see as we go through the zones, it's all different enemies and stuff like that. There are some slash commands. Yeah, there are some slash commands for the server. Mad Dog says, hey, how are you? How long are you playing till? I'm probably gonna play a couple more games, but I don't know how much longer I'm gonna play. I've been streaming for a while now. Izzy says, I liked the environments in episode 2 way more than episode 1. One thing I was disappointed with in episode 2 was the exclusive enemies didn't change their appearance in Ultimate. I was also bummed by that. I wish the exclusive enemies changed their appearance in Ultimate. I think that would have been really cool. Izzy says, I really wish PSO would come back. It was really fun when PSO 2 launched in the West. A lot of my friends that played the original with me growing up hopped on and we had a lot of fun. Yeah, I just could not get into PSO 2 because of all of the... not like all the gacha mechanics. Just kind of... it's not my thing. Let's do it. So here you're going to see some of the alternate environments. I love the ultimate caves. The ultimate caves look super cool. So the enemies are different too. Not only do they look different, but these lilies cast Megid, which is like a one-hit kill spell. It's pretty annoying. But I love all the different enemy designs. Oh, stag cutlery. Thank you. Megid is no joke. I'm gonna catch up with the chat in a sec. These rooms are just pretty crazy. Izzy says Ultimate Caves was really nice. Forgot you had Dragon Sword too. That one was common. Yeah, it was common, but it's really cool looking and it's pretty solid too, early game. If I was not here with these really high level players, I would just not stand a chance. Izzy says, ever did battle mode? I did a little bit of battle mode, but not enough. I just feel like people didn't play battle mode that often, but it was pretty cool. What I really enjoy is C mode, challenge mode. Not as many people play that either, but I do think it's really fun and I would like to play some more of it. quest has a ton of enemies. Crazy waves. Izzy says, I didn't pay much attention to battle mode. My friends constantly wanted to play though. I had the unfair advantage of being higher level and cheese them with free spells. That's fun. Oh, I forgot how cool. Ultimate Mines looks so cool. With the neon. It looks so cool. It would be so fun to like scratch build some models of like the different robots from Phantasy Star Online. That'd be so cool. Like these guys are totally just carrying me. And when they do their like really high level shiftity bam buffs, it really boosts you by quite a bit. So it's really letting me tank a lot of hits that normally would be really tough for me to tank. C mode sounds fun, but sadly a lot of the offline rewards weren't worth it. I heard the online ones were good. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the only way to get the S rank weapons, right? I didn't even realize this quest was timed until right now. Oh god. Casino Reds look super cool. I like how they look. This whole area looks so cool though. It looks super 80s. Like super cyberpunk. That's correct. S rank weapons were only available to C mode online. They were basically the best weapons in the game from what I heard. Yeah, that's what I always heard too. I never really got one for myself, but I've always kind of wanted one. And I have played quite like a couple, like the first 3 or 4 levels of C mode back in the day. And I did find it was like a really fun way to play the game. For those of you that don't know, C mode is challenge mode. It's like an alternate game mode. And you start out at set levels, like level 1 or level 5. And each mission, you start out at a different level. And it's these like preset missions that you have to get through without dying. And it's really hard. But the grind for them was real. Not sure if you can add a percent to them, like hit percent. I think you can add percent to S rank weapons. I think that's a really popular thing people do, is add percent to S rank weapons. Momo says, must be hard now not having that boo-boo guy around to carry. Yeah. We miss you, boo-boo. Alright. And to the next area. I believe the ruins, the ultimate ruins look pretty crazy too, from what I remember. Haven't played them in a while. Mr. M99 says, man, I miss this game. There's no reason to miss it. You can play it. You can still play it. Oh god, one hit KO. I'm doing no damage. So I'm just gonna stay back and cast some spells. Let everybody else do the work because I'm just not high enough level for Ultimate Ruins. EXP is crazy though. Really good EXP. Oh, crap. Izzy says, as for looks though, they had the same looks as the other weapons already in the game. Yes, they did, but they were yellow. That sword is so cool. Reminds me of the Soul Edge. It does look like the Soul Edge, doesn't it? This giant sword. Mr. M99 says, true, sadly, but I no longer have it. Have you ever played Blue Burst? So first of all, Mr. M99, you can still play this game on like a Dolphin emulator. I don't know if you're joining the stream now, but in this private server, they've added crossplay between the PC version, Blue Burst, which you can download on their server, like website. So you can play Blue Burst, you can play Dreamcast, you can play GameCube, You can play on the original Xbox, and it all has crossplay, which is super cool. But some people who I've been playing with have been emulating the GameCube version and playing on Dolphin online. Some people, like a few of the people here, they're playing the Blueburst version. So there's a lot you can do to still play this game. You don't need a GameCube, like a physical GameCube. And then yes, so I have played Blueburst. I played Blueburst on the official servers back in the day. And then I played Blueburst private servers many years later. As recently as a few years ago. But I really enjoy the GameCube version. The Blueburst zones that they added are pretty cool. Especially the final zone with like the crazy crystal caves. It would be awesome if they announced like a remaster or even just like a port of PSO Classic and they added like a zone or two. Even if they didn't add a zone, it would be amazing, but if they added a zone or two, that would be insane. I would lose my mind if they did that. Momo says, wait, am I supposed to be using the Plus version? Yes, Momo, you should definitely be playing with the Plus version. It has bug fixes, and it's less prone to crashing, and it also has additional offline quests. If you get the Plus version, you can transfer your save file from the original PSO to Plus. But then I think if you get Plus, I don't think you can go back to the original version. I'm not 100% on that. But if you have the Plus version, that's the best version to play. The double save glitch was patched out. There were a bunch of fixes. Oh my god, these waves are crazy. And I'm all out of fluids. I'm gonna run to the other room. Change my customize panel. Add dye fluids. So we're gonna try to do a combo. 4-way photon blast. Perfect combo. Just because a weapon's strong doesn't make it the best. You have to pay attention to its attributes too. There's some funny like pre-made chats built into the game that are just so fucking dorky. Izzy says you can go back and forth with the original and Plus. My friend had the Plus version and we constantly kept going back and forth. Okay, that's cool. Overall, the Plus was the way to go since it patched a lot of the stuff out that was harmful to corrupting your save. Yeah. My save file sadly corrupted back in the day and I lost my like level 140 character and I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. So Falls is the only boss that doesn't change for Ultimate, but the other bosses, the dragon, the worm, and Fallout all have special Ultimate versions. As you can see, he plays different, like way faster, different abilities, just more difficult overall. But the look is overall the same as in hard mode and very hard mode. How do we find everybody? And this is a time quest too, so we're almost out of time. But hopefully we can beat it. And there you have it. Very nice. Wonder if I'll level up. Well, Dark Falls did get another form, yeah. On hard, very hard, and ultimate, you get a third form. But it's the same on very hard and ultimate. That was a pretty fun quest. Let's see what I can sell. Oh, I did find a resist holy. I forgot about that. I could have equipped it during the final boss. Just deposit these items. That's crazy. And I think I'm probably gonna call it for a night. It's pretty late and I've been playing for a while. Ooh, no, I don't want that one. But this was a really fun stream. Thank you to everybody for hanging out and chatting, and everybody who played. It was really fun.